Hey gamers, welcome back to the Gamers Lounge podcast. My name is John Meadows. With me as always is Eric, Nathaniel, and Robert. I can't get my timer to stop.
And the alarm!
That's not Eric.
Still won't go off. Okay.
That's not Eric.
Jeez. Oh, Matt, sorry. Jeez. The alarm just threw me off there. Something terrible. It was like I'm sitting here on my iPhone pounding on the button to stop my timer, and it would not stop. So, but that's okay. It's all right. We're all good here. Trying something new on the fly, so I don't.
Wouldn't be interesting without technical difficulties.
Well, I don't have time to what's the word? I don't have time to practice things, So we just got to do live practicing and see how it goes. So, but that's all right. It all worked out anyway. Nathaniel, Robert, and Matt. Eric is still out on his trip. He's got some things going on with work. He's been having to stay the week in San Diego, which is I won't say what it's French for. If anybody's ever watched Anchorman, they know. So, but anyway, so what's everybody been doing this week? Everybody doing okay? What you drinking there, Robert? There's some Diet Coke.
I got that zesty blood orange Diet Coke.
Oh, the blood orange one.
Not sponsored.
Yeah, the blood orange one's okay. I like the orange and the cherry. I'm not a fan of what's the third one?
There's a mango
or mango? No.
There's ginger, mango, cherry, and blood orange.
Ginger is not ginger enough for me. So.
Man, it's tough. It depends on what I'm eating or if it's a standalone drink. Yeah. The mango one's really good by itself, but I don't like it with meals.
Yeah.
The cherry one makes me sneeze every time. It is so peppery.
Really?
So peppery. I like them all, but
that one's almost more cinnamony than it is cherry, I think.
It's something. It's intense.
Yeah. I like it though.
Yeah, I'm a fan.
Yeah.
So a month or I guess it's been more like 2 months now. We went to a place and they had Georgia peach Coca-Cola. And they had raspberry Coca-Cola.
Ooh,
I've had raspberry.
In the bottle. Oh, you've had the raspberry?
Are you saying like there's real raspberries? Oh no, then I have not.
Like raspberry
syrup Coke.
Yeah,
I've had it in the what is it? The machine that they have at Wendy's or stuff where you can pick. I've had it those, but I've never walked into a store and saw a bottle of it.
This was in a bottle and it said raspberry Coke.
Huh. It's pretty good.
I like those machines because I can get like Coke Zero with all the nice flavors.
Yeah, I get a cherry Coke Zero when I go.
Anytime I go to iMovie, I come back with like a mixture of Coke Zeros, and I let Michelle try and guess what all I put in it this time. She's pretty good at it. She gets it right most of the time.
That's pretty funny.
I think it'd be cool if they had a machine that you could go up to and like deposit your old Coke bottle or whatever for your 5 cents off or something like that.
Oh, your plastic one, yeah.
But then it would bottle it in front of you with like a glass bottle. So you could be like, I want a Coke with this flavor, beep, beep, beep. And it like...
Okay, I'll show my age here. I remember going to the grocery store with Mom as a kid and taking our 6-pack of tall Coke bottles back to get money for them. You'd walk in the front door, and the registers would all be there, and you'd be like, "Hey, I brought my Cokes. Okay, you just set them over here, and we'll give you credit when you go back through, to buy something. Or if you're not buying anything, go over to the service desk." I remember, and that was a thing. I mean, we did that every week when we went to the grocery store with glass Coke bottles. Yeah, and now,
some states still have deposits for those.
Yeah,
right?
they do, but I don't think you do it at like stores. I think you have to take them to the recycling centers or something like that now. It used to be on the stores, and the way it worked at the stores was the distributors or the delivery people would pick the bottles back up and they would take them and recycle them. Now you actually have to go recycle them yourself. So. Back in the olden days, when
a little more effort.
Yeah, I know, right? When you got green stamps for buying stuff and things like that. That's how my mother bought my first video game console. Was an Odyssey 2. She bought it with green stamps from the grocery store out of the little book. I actually pulled it out the other day because Danny bought one. He was asking me, he's like, "What games are good for it? I know you have one." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I haven't played that thing in like 20 years. Let me pull it out and I'll go through the games and I'll tell you which ones are good and which ones aren't." And Mom had kept the instructions and all the advertisement and everything in a bag, so it's all like spiffy new. And I pulled it out, and she actually had written on the envelope the model number, the serial number, and the date she'd got it. It was like October 3rd of 1983 is what she I was like, yeah, my mom keeps all that stuff. It's really, I guess I get it honest since I've got everything piled up to Timbuktu. But anyway, we didn't come here to talk about the olden days in recycling, even though all those things are good. I mean, recycling's good, right? For future generations.
We use those materials in our consoles, I suppose.
I guess. I don't know. But anyway, so
what you guys been playing?
Yeah, what's anybody been playing? Anybody been doing before we show that we don't know anything about recycling or what's going on? So, Nathaniel, you've been playing Minecraft again, I see. Is that really all you've played this week is Minecraft? Yep. Just not had time?
The last show was Minecraft.
Just been sucked into
putting all the time into Minecraft.
I gotcha. Okay.
He's back to form.
Yep, that's what I was going to say. Back to form now. So it must be a good new additions to it if you're back in form.
Yeah, there's a lot of fun stuff, and then because I'm starting on a new world on a server with a couple friends, we've got to build all the basics and stuff, and we're building it like, hey, we need this stuff, let's build a farm for it, or we need that, let's build a machine for it.
Yeah.
So I've built like a nice smelting machine where you can put in all your stuff that you want to put in the furnaces, and it'll put it through an array of a bunch of furnaces and cook it up quick. We've got like a thing that converts the concrete powder into regular concrete, and we've got like a bunch of other random stuff. I don't know. I built half a house so far because it's really big. I keep noodling on it. I'm like, I'll get it done eventually.
Do you have more than the pool made now?
I've got all the walls and stuff kind of in basics, and they're all different colors and stuff because it's all a bunch of stacked weird sections.
Yeah.
So I've been messing around with what kind of roof do I want to put on it, and I haven't found anything I like yet. So I'm like, I don't feel like doing that now. I'm going to go do something else. So like today, I was all in the nether dimension, which is kind of like the hell dimension for Minecraft, in one of the fortresses. And then I built just a really big platform where a bunch of the mobs only spawn in fortresses. So I'm just making a big platform that's super dangerous. But you can go in there and just kill them a bunch, so you can get all the rare drops, specifically the ones that drop like the skeletons that drop the skulls that you can then use to summon a boss monster, which I did to get a. And once you kill them, you get a item that lets you build a beacon. Which, if you get a full beacon, you can have different effects like instant mining and all sorts of cool stuff. So it's like you got to do this thing, do that thing to do this thing. It's all fun.
Yeah. That sounds pretty cool, though. Well, I'm glad that they've added enough stuff to make it interesting again. Plus, you're back on the.
I mean, I haven't even been doing much of the new stuff for a while anyway, but it's still fun.
Yeah.
One of the coolest things that's just the most weird, subtle thing is part of this update. They added actual fish mobs in the game because before with just fishing, it was just magic.
Yeah.
You just fish and pull it out of the water. but they have actual fish that swim around now, which is really cool for when you're in the rivers or oceans. It just makes it feel more alive because there's something moving around.
Yeah.
And all the seaweed and stuff that they added to. So it's definitely made the water a lot more interesting to play around in. And building underwater is better too. That they fixed all the water physics so that anything that was not a full block would always have weird the air gaps in it before.
Yeah.
So if you put stairs or a half slab underwater, there'd be half a block of air above it. And now they fixed it where it doesn't do that anymore, so it doesn't look ugly. And as someone who likes to build things, I'm like, yes.
Can you still put one source block here, one source block here, and have infinite water in the middle?
Yes, still does that. There's some other stuff that makes it easier to fill in bigger bodies of water than it used to be, but yeah, for the most part, it acts about the same. But there's just some little tweaks that they've done to it that lets you, the big thing is the waterlogged blocks, which is what they call it now with stairs or slabs. You can waterlog it so that there's water instead of air there.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, I don't even know. I need to look at the stats and see how much I've played on just this server. Add it to my imaginary total count of Minecraft. That's got to be thousands of hours.
You should add that to the show notes later.
I could only imagine.
Yeah.
I could only imagine what's your count of hours in.
I mean,
Minecraft
there's no way you can count everything unless you have access to all of the places you've ever played still.
Yeah.
Because it keeps track of your stats per world or per server or whatever. So you can count, if you have all the places you've ever played it, you can count it up, but I don't have access to that anymore because I played on the 360. I've got the Switch version now that I played a little bit in, and I've got the PC version that I've played on who knows how many servers and stuff at this point. So,
how is it on Switch? I know you said you haven't played it very much, but
I played it when it came out, and I think they've updated it since then because I got it right when it came out, and I've played probably at least 10-15 hours of it on Switch.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, it's comparable to the other console versions. I'm sure there's certain random restrictions because all of them seem to have different restrictions on how big the world can get.
Yeah.
Just because the consoles have a lot more limited save space than a PC would. So, yeah, it plays like the other console ones do.
Yeah.
I like that they added into it, when I was playing on 360, it was just the menu-based crafting in it, where you pick a thing. If you had the materials, you could craft it. But you can craft the PC version if you want to.
Oh, well, that's cool.
A little bit slower because you're basically moving a cursor with the thumbstick. But if you know the recipes, it's faster to do that than to scroll through all the menus.
Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, that's cool. I'd forgot that it had actually come out on Switch, and I saw it on the charts the other day. It was in the top.
There
20
might even be a physical version of it now. I don't know. Bought it digitally when it came out.
I think there is, or it's coming. I don't know which.
I don't think I've seen one.
I have no idea. I didn't pay attention after I bought it. I was like, oh, I own it. It's fine. I don't have to pay attention to the rest.
I think I saw it on Amazon. I would have to. Excuse me. I'd have to check. But I would think I think I saw it on Amazon. I don't know. I've been going through a lot of the games on Amazon for various reasons that we will talk about after a while.
But I've gotten the Minecraft itch again, where I'll be at work and everything like, I want to build this tonight, or I want to do this thing, or I'll be watching a video on my break, be like, oh, that's cool, I want to try that out.
Let me make.
So I want to build a nice tunnel from our portal back to the spawn base that goes over to where we have our gunpowder farm, and if you run there, it takes a few seconds. It's not actually that far, but I want to build a tunnel with the ice in it, so when you go down the boat, you're just there really fast.
You're at work making schematics.
Yeah, it's just like he's got a little notebook beside him going.
Get my graph paper out or something.
Got his grid paper out, all just.
I just have Minecraft on my second monitor. Making plans and
Nathaniel,
stuff.
you got that video edited yet? Oh, I'm working on it. It's rendering right now.
It looks like Minecraft, but it's actually a spreadsheet. It's a voxel spreadsheet.
That would be hilarious. Well, okay then.
Like, I'm doing research. Yes.
There's got to be a patch or a mod for that, to where it's like, how can I play Minecraft in Excel or something like that.
Yeah, really.
We're going to see kids programming it into their TI-86 calculators.
Yeah, really. That wouldn't surprise me. No,
That's
work
what
on Fortnite
Minecraft
for
has
that.
done. Is people probably have made Excel in Minecraft at some point.
Oh, I'm
point.
sure.
There are people who've made Minecraft in Minecraft.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
You just broke my head.
Yeah. Well, I don't understand.
Like, hey, I'm in Minecraft. I'm gonna go over to this thing that I put together using mods and whatever, so now I can play Minecraft in Minecraft.
Whoa.
Just because I can.
Man.
Because I hate my RAM and my CPU.
Yeah, really. Well, Matt, what have you been playing? We'll go to the upper right now.
Same thing as last time. It's a little bit of Overwatch and a little bit of the hunting game. And so it's been a slow time. Haven't been doing a whole lot. Been at work a lot later, so I get home. It's like, let's watch a little TV, unwind, let's eat dinner, and it's 9:30. Okay.
Yeah, I totally understand that.
Yep, I totally get that.
Yeah, I totally get that too. I haven't.
So it's like,
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just saying. So it's like Overwatch is like my game. If I was like, I want to talk to people, and I just want to rage against the machine. And the Hunter's the game where I want to feel depressed because I'm like just like not doing anything at all. Just kind of walking around out in the woods, waiting for stuff that never shows up, and you're just kind of like, all right. And then you do like one thing every 15 minutes, and so it's a nice way to settle down and
Just like real hunting.
yeah. Except if you see something like once every 15 days, you'd be like, yeah, but
Yeah. That's what we were talking about the other day. Somebody's like, "Oh, my son's went hunting," said, but he hasn't really went hunting. He walked out in the woods, went 15 yards, saw a deer, shot it, and he was done. I went, "Yeah, that's not hunting.
That's not hunting.
Hunting is going and sitting under a tree or in a deer stand for 4 hours in the freezing cold and not seeing anything,
You got to
enjoying every minute of it."
that is my kind of hunting though. You go out and you just bust a doe or something like that, and you're like, done. Yep. I now have all the meat I need for the next year.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to go back and be warm and play video games.
It was always that easy. So, but I haven't played a whole lot of stuff. It looks like I have, but I've played bits, just touches of it. I did finally get my copy of Dead Cells in the mail from Amazon. That took forever. The first one they shipped out was lost. It should have been here back on the 16th, and it disappeared in the mail somewhere. It left Texas, and it never showed up again. So that's actually the first time I have ever lost a package from Amazon. So
they lost one of mine one time, and then it showed up like a month later. So
yeah, and that may be what happens in this case. Who knows? But
it's weird that it was Texas they had to ship it from.
Yeah.
There's not like a warehouse closer to you with it.
Well,
They've got
usually
warehouses everywhere.
Yeah, well, usually
we have
all our packages come from Herndon, Kentucky, which is 3 hours away, or they come from I forget where in Indiana, which is about 4 hours away. Those are the only two places it ever comes from. But Dead Cells actually came out 5 days, shipped 5 days before it was supposed to. So I don't know if it just came into Texas and they sent them out right from there, because the second one because where I had to reorder it, and what was cool is I didn't even have to talk to anybody. It was like, I went to the order and they were like, well, your package hasn't tracked in a week, and it usually doesn't take that long. So if you'd like to order another one, click this button. If you'd like a refund, click this button. So, I clicked that button. They changed it or sent me another one, next day shipping and stuff like that. And it came from the normal place. So I'm guessing that where it came out early, maybe they were trying to push it, quick, and who knows? But anyway, I finally got it, and it is awesome. It is. It's the only game that I could say that I do the same thing over and over and over and over again, but I don't get frustrated with it. I guess because I know that's the kind of game it is. You die, you start over, you go again. It's like, which doesn't bother me because where things are randomly generated and the levels are and stuff like that. But I'm digging it so far. There's some things I really don't understand in it, but I mean,
How far have you gotten levels wise?
I have not got past the second level.
Oh, buddy.
That's as far as I could get is the second level so far.
Ain't seen nothing yet.
I have
The
not been
thing
able
I
to
like
get
about
past it.
is it seems to force you to play differently on every run based on what random drop you get.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, this time I'll use the devices, or this time I'll use this cool sword that I picked up, or this time I've got a really good bow, or whatever.
Yeah. Well, see, the first two drops I always get, or they have at the beginning, is the same it's the sword and the
Yeah.
bow. You know, it's like, or a
You
shield.
can change that later, but yeah, for the first while that you play, it will be those two things to start with.
So I get to, then I finally, there was one playthrough that I actually picked up a really cool, like, tracking sword that shot ice, or I don't know, it was weird. It was really cool, and I was like, yeah, and then I get to I finally get
that's
to
one
the
of the random
second level.
effects.
Yeah.
'Cause you don't have like swords all do different things, but anything that like shoots out of them is all just like a random additive.
Yeah.
Whatever drop.
Most of the time with games like that, though, I get frustrated. You know, it's like when I can't get past the second level, I get frustrated. For this game, for whatever reason, I don't get frustrated at it. I don't know why. You know, I guess because I just have fun with it, or maybe I was going in with that expectation of knowing that that's what was the way it was going to be. Maybe I don't know. But
Rogue Legacy was a lot like that too, but
Yeah.
just a different style of visuals and kind of combat and all that too. But it was very much run for a ways. Oh, I didn't do well, but I got a couple things that maybe help me the next time. It's very much the same type of. One more time, maybe I'll do better.
Yeah, I've barely played it, really. I mean, I was out of town till Thursday evening, and literally that's when I popped it in, and I played it Friday. So, and this is Sunday. So I really haven't had a whole lot of time to really dig into it. And then, yesterday I got 2 limited run games in the mail. I got Mercenary Kings and I forget what the other one was, Flintlock or whatever. And Flint Hook, that's it, yeah. So I haven't even, it's like now I'm getting bombarded with games, and I was like, well, I'll play a few minutes of this, I'll play a few minutes of that, and then I'll go back to this. It's like, so it's, we live in a time where there's just so many games pouring over us that there's more to play.
I mean, I haven't had many pouring over me because I haven't been buying many Switch things like you have.
Yeah.
So it's about to start though. 'Cause September and Spider-Man is just a couple weeks away, and then it's just tidal wave of stuff after that.
I am up last night when I put the 2 new games on the shelf. I'm up to 44 Switch releases.
God.
That's just physical. That's not counting the digital that I have.
How many have you completed?
8.
Oh, how many have I completed? Maybe 3 or 4. I haven't completed.
That's good. Good, 10%.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm shooting 10%, that's really good. I think I'm doing good there.
It depends.
Well, I mean, when you think about how many games I have, shooting 10%, yeah, I think that's pretty good. Overall games.
How many are like brand new to Switch though, and how many are re-releases from indie Switch games or indie Steam games?
I have no idea. I would have to actually sit down, and I mean, a lot of them are third-party games, Axiom Verge, things like that. But I have like Mario Odyssey, Breath of the Wild, Kirby. I don't know. I'd have to look through them all. There's
Everything.
there's a lot of them.
Oh.
But I mean, I have a lot of
Switch library.
I have a lot of third-party releases. Shining Force and Flashback, 25th anniversary, and stuff like that. So I mean, I've got a lot of those indie titles and stuff like that. But I mean, I've probably got as many digital as I have physical at this point. I mean, it's ridiculous how many games I have for that thing. Way more than I thought I would at this point. But let's see. I also bought State of Mind for the Nintendo Switch. It's this cool cyberpunky game. It's not what I thought it was going to be. I was going to wait till the physical version came out, but I really wanted to play it so bad that I waited. And the whole thing is you actually play two characters that have amnesia, and they almost have the same linear path. A lot of people find it kind of boring. I find it just like a kind of a chill-out game to play. It's like a mystery to figure out exactly what happened and why your wife left you, and why she took her kids, and who she ran away with, why you were in the hospital after this accident, and things like that. But it's a fun little game. I've only maybe played 4 hours of so far, and I think it's like a 15-hour game. So it's not a huge deep game, but But it's pretty cool. I mean, right now it's more or less just walking around trying to get clues, and then watch a cutscene, and then walk around and try to get clues and watch a cutscene. But the graphic style is very polygony, which is kind of weird, but kind of cool. Feels very Blade Runner-ish. The setting of it, anyway.
Yeah, I've seen some like a video or trailer for it, and it has definitely kind of like take the Blade Runner style and then just do a minimalistic version of that.
Yeah.
Throw some neon around. That's kind of what it looked like to me.
It works really. It looks really well, and the game works good. But it's definitely. I will definitely say it's not a game for everyone. If you like more of a slower paced, almost role playing game, I mean, it's definitely up your alley. If not, you might want to stay away from it, or at least wait till it drops in price, because it is $40. I mean, it's not a cheap game, and it's only digital right now in America. So, but I mean, it's a decent game. I just need to get back to it and see how it ends up. I don't know if these two are end up going to meet somehow. I don't know if it's going to do one of those weird things or what. So, the other one that I've been playing, well, I played one night of. I got it the day before I left to go out of town, was the Yakuza Kiwami 2, which what little bit of it I've played, I streamed the first like 2.5 hours of it, but I've actually played about 4 hours of it. That game is probably the best of the 6 Yakuza games out, I would have to say.
Is that like the remake of 2 or something?
Mm-hmm,
using 6's engine.
Yeah, it uses 6's engine with a lot of the mechanics from 6, and it meshes the mechanics of 6 and 2 together with a story. It is probably the best one of the series, just because it's the most. It seems like almost like the most well done version of the game, if that makes any sense. Even though 6,
I remember Yakuza 2 being just the best one anyway from back in the day. And
the story was really good in 2. I actually am more of a fan of Yakuza 1. As far as the story goes, but I mean, I liked Yakuza 2 a lot, but you put the Yakuza 2 story and gameplay with the updated graphics of 6 and the updated leveling and the updated mechanics and all the extra stuff that was never in that game that was in 6, with the video games and the shows and the side quests, all the more side quests and the extra little level or extra little character that you could play as later on in the game. So it is really a solid game. And I think it's funny that, this one came out after 6 and it's actually better than 6. You would think that the last one, you'd think technically the last one of the series would be the pinnacle of that series, but I think this one
this technically is the last one in the fact that
True.
They had first go around, then I got to redo it and look at, okay, let's improve this and this and this.
Yeah.
Here's all the stuff we learned when we were making 6, so we can do it even better this time.
And that's exactly what they've done, and it is really, really cool. And I think it's $50. It comes out Tuesday. I think it's $50. I mean, if you even have a hint of interest in the Yakuza series, that's a good jumping in point, because at the beginning of the game, you go to a cemetery, visit people who have passed on, and that will actually play out the entire story of Yakuza 1 in cutscenes. I think it's like 25 or 30 minutes.
Doesn't 6 do that also?
Well, yeah, but it's not built into the game. This is actually built into the game. They have the thing where you could go into the menu and go previously on this if you want to watch the backstory. On this, it's built into the game. You're in front of this person's grave, and then you can have a memory of a quarter of the story.
So it's like triggering your own flashbacks?
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
But it uses all in-game cutscenes from the game, with the new engine and stuff like that. And if you've never played 1, you don't have to. It literally, all you got to do is sit there for 30 minutes and watch it, and you'll have the entire of everything in 1, and you're ready to go. Then
you can clean up, and then you can play 2.
Yeah, pretty much. But it's a fantastic game. Highly recommend it. The other one that I've played for maybe 2 hours is Shenmue 1 on the PS4. I haven't got to play it too much because, like I said, I was out of town. But I came home Thursday. It was here, so I popped it in Thursday night, played it for a couple hours.
I put a handful.
It looks really nice. The graphics, are just upscaled to 1080p. They really didn't do a whole lot of, of textures or anything like that. They did add bloom effects and cleaned up the image a lot. The main game you can play in 16:9, but all the cutscenes are in 4:3. I'm guessing that's because that's the way it was on, the way the footage was on the Dreamcast.
They would have had to completely rebuild it.
Yeah, my only gripe that I have is the audio tracks of the voices.
That's what I was going to say. Was it that way on the originals?
Yes, it was. And
it sounded like they recorded the originals from like a separate tool and then uploaded them into this game.
They just pretty much dropped it into the game with no kind of updating or anything like that. They just dropped it in, I think. Honestly, Sega did the very minimum they had to do to get this out.
Almost half-assed for as long as it's been rumored.
It is, but you know what? If they had went back and done a full HD revision of it, I think it would have lost that charm that it had originally. But it's a double-edged sword, because on one hand, a lot of new gamers will play it and go, these graphics aren't that great, the sound's terrible, the gameplay's not that good, blah,
it's not really for them.
But it's not for them. Well, I know, but I mean, if you're wanting to introduce new people to the series,
it's going to be tough. Michelle was watching me play it, and she was just like, you pre-ordered this?
Yeah.
Like, really?
Where,
this isn't good.
Yeah.
There's already a HD texture mod for the PC version.
Yeah, I'm really tempted to buy the PC version, because I was really surprised how quickly all these mods have already come out for it. But I found out that the guy who's doing it is, I don't know if you remember, or if any of you remember seeing maybe a year or two ago, somebody had redone like a trailer or made a trailer for Shenmue, and it was all HD and this and that, and everybody was like, oh man, somebody needs to hire him. He's the one that's doing all the mods on the PC version. So he's just cranking them out like nobody's business. So eventually,
he already had them waiting.
Yeah, really. So eventually I'll probably pick it up on PC just to see those mods, in action. But I mean, it works. It runs great on the PS4.
Load times are quicker.
Yeah, load times are amazingly quicker.
I completely forgot of like the half tank controls, and I was like, "Oh God, how do I move in this game? I need to retrain my brain."
I flip the triggers so the look and the normally the run is on the left and the look is on the right, or no, the look is on the right and the run. Yeah, the other way. So I flipped them, even though that's the way they are on the Dreamcast. I flipped them because it felt more natural.
I thought it was funny. It still had like little pictures of the Dreamcast controller and the VMU and the settings, and I was just like, okay, guys.
The cool thing is you could save it anywhere, which is kind of nice.
Yes,
you don't have
I was
to go
very
back.
happy about
you
that.
don't have to go back at the end of the day and save yourself, which I kind of
Still
forgot.
can't time travel.
What's that?
Still can't time travel. No way to skip forward in time.
There's no way to skip forward in time. But there's always that, and every year that I played it, I still can't sync that shot in the bar to get the sailors to give him
can't do it, and you only get one shot.
Well, you only get one shot, but I totally forgot that I could save before I walked in there. So I really should have saved.
Yep.
Walked in there, did it, and then reloaded my save and tried it again until I finally
Does it
got
change anything?
It just adds a thing to your notebook. Really, it doesn't.
Wow.
At this point, I'm way far ahead of my notebook because I know where to go and I know what to do.
Yeah, I've skipped over quite a few things unintentionally. How far did you get?
I got the information for the sailors, and I don't remember where I left off at.
Sounds like you might be a little bit ahead of me. I just finished the brawl with the sailors.
I finished that in the brawl in the bar. And then,
I was getting mad because I couldn't find that bar. I was looking at the map, and I'm like, "Where? It's not on the map. What the heck?" I
literally have not had to look at anything. If anybody would watch me play it, I'd just be going, "Foop, foop, foop, foop," and they'd be, "Wait, how'd you know that guy was sitting there and you could get this? Or how did you know to unlock this and do that? Or how did you know to do?" Well, I've played it.
How many times have you beaten this game?
Yeah.
Like dozens of times.
Yeah, I mean, I've played it once every at least 10 years. So if I don't remember how to do it now, then there's problems. But I mean, it is nice. It's really nice to have have it out. Because there's so many people who couldn't play it because either A, they didn't have a Dreamcast, or B, they couldn't afford the games once the price shot up when Shenmue 3 was announced. Because, you used to be able to get Shenmue for $20 all day long, and when Shenmue 3 was announced, it shot up to like 60. So a lot of people were playing it on emulators that didn't run right, or they were doing this or doing that. So I mean, it's very cool that it's out there. The other thing I don't like is I have to install 2 separate games. I thought I could just hit
Yeah, I was
this.
really confused when I
It's
saw
very
that.
weird. When you put the game in, so you have a tile for the game, and you go down on the game disc, and it actually has 2 boxes for 1 and 2, and you got to install them, and then those become part of your tile.
So you got 3 blocks up top.
So you got 3 blocks up top. You got Shenmue 1, Shenmue 2, and Shenmue 1 and 2, which now Shenmue 1 and 2 does nothing. So it's like, could you give me a code in there?
You click it and it just says pick one.
Yeah,
pick
you
one.
click it and it does nothing. You just click
I just
it and it does
downloaded
nothing.
one of them. I was like, it's fine. I'll uninstall it and download the other.
Yeah, I mean, I just went ahead and installed both of them. Said the heck with it.
I mean, I doubt they're all that big.
They're not.
It was like 13 gigs for both, I think.
I think and there's a patch for both of them and stuff. But there is the audio really threw me for a loop because I didn't realize. Honestly, I didn't realize that I had to go back and boot up the Dreamcast version and go, yeah, that voiceover stuff was really super
jarring.
compressed.
Yeah.
Because like the music is really surround and sounds nice, like they used the CD quality music, and then all of a sudden somebody talks.
And it was super. Was it loud for you? I had to turn it way down.
No, it wasn't really loud for me. But the other thing I think is cool is you could choose from Japanese and English on the fly, which is pretty awesome. I do like that because I tend to play them more in Japanese than I do English, but I was so tired Thursday night that I couldn't.
Do they have more expression in Japanese?
The mouths match a little better. Other than that,
they sound like robots talking.
Yeah, I mean, there's a little more inflection in it than there is in the American version, but yeah, I mean that's the one thing is the sound quality, and I don't know what they could have done about that. That was just the way it was recorded and compressed, and I'm sure they don't have those original recordings anymore that they could go back and remaster. And if you try to remaster something that's super compressed to fit on a disc that holds not even a quarter of what discs hold now. Yeah, it would probably sound more horrible than what it did.
Yeah,
which is fine. I mean, if that's the one small complaint,
I mean, at the same time, it's preserving the history, right?
Yeah.
So you're playing it as it was intended to be played, which is not a bad thing.
All right, and I'm
know what
fine
you're
with
getting.
that. The fonts are different on the books, and then when you go into the different areas and the stuff like that. There's little things that are gone in it, like the watches are no longer Timex.
Weird.
They're Sega now because the license with Timex ran out. Even the cola is different now. It's Jet Cola. In the Japanese version, it was Coca-Cola, and I don't remember.
They still look like Coca-Cola machines.
Yeah, they still look like Coca-Cola
Get the PC
machines.
version because the texture mod specifically mentions it. Hey, we put it back to Coke.
Yep, they put it back to Coke, and so I mean, but yeah, I mean that's the only thing that I've noticed. It used to be load times in Yakuza was in Shenmue was about 25 seconds or something like that. Now it's like it's almost instantaneous.
It's like here's a splash screen. It's gone.
Yeah, it's like here's the time of day. Oh, it's gone now. It's like it's like ooh. At first, that was like ooh, my gosh, that is really.
I forgot
fast.
there was like a quasi time limit to beating the game, and I was like, oh man, now I have to like be on point and rush through this thing. In your experience, how hard is it to miss that time frame?
I don't know because I don't remember if I ever beat it in that time frame or not. And this time there's no trophy for it, so I don't care.
Well, there's a difference in ending.
Well, not really. Not that I'm aware of. I've never seen a difference in the ending when of all the times.
You must have always beaten the time frame then, because there's like a date, an in-game date that you have to complete it by. And I think the math put it to like 35 hours you have to beat the game in.
Well, I don't know. I've never seen any other ending than the one that was always in the strategy guide. That's the ending that I've always seen. I don't ever remember it even saying anything about two endings, a different ending in the game. I know there's certain things, if you don't get them in a certain time, they disappear, like situations like meeting the woman on the street to help her find the house, or what's her name getting picked on by the bullies in the park, or the dude in the park to learn a move or something like that. But man, my goal in this is just to get all the trophies. That's all there is.
Oh yeah.
They look pretty easy to acquire. Probably the hardest one will actually be to win the 70 man fight. That's the only one.
Would that be your first platinum?
Oh gosh, no! I've got 7 or 8 of them. I don't know how many platinums I got. Several, more than 5. That's all I know. I'd have to look it up. I don't know. Usually I don't care, but some games I do care about.
Yeah.
I platinum Destiny. That's.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
Well, that's the one that I remember right off the top of my head. Is I platinum Destiny. The first time, I didn't play.
Just
That
means
was
you had
a
a
very
part-time job for a year and a half.
Yeah, really. Yeah,
That was a very time-consuming one.
yeah, it was the hardest. The hardest one, the one that took me the longest to get was the what was it, the flawless or the no death raid or something like that. That one was the hardest one to get. But so that's all you played, Robert, is Shenmue.
That's it.
Yeah, so I highly recommend it. I mean, it's $30. Pick it up.
Yeah.
You know, if anything, pick it up to support the game. We'll never
I got
see
that Prime discount on it. It was like $25.
Yeah, I did too. You know, my thing is Sega will never release numbers on it. It'll never be a high. You know, they'll never say, "Oh, it was our best-selling game." They'll never say that. But you know, at least it's nice that it's on Xbox, it's on PC, it's on PlayStation 4. So there's plenty of places. Nobody has an excuse now not to buy it if they want it. So. Or to try it out at least, and I mean it's worth trying out just to see how far quote unquote open world games have come. I mean it's open world, but I don't know how
it's smaller than I remember.
Yeah, it is very small. The second one is a lot bigger. When you play the second one,
I never played the second one.
Oh really? Well, when you play the second one,
my brother imported it on the Dreamcast, but it was after I had already moved on.
I imported it on the Dreamcast, but I also had it on the Xbox as well. The world is much larger. The story is a lot more fleshed out. And I think, even though it ends on a cliffhanger, I think it's a more satisfying game than the first one was. I think you'll enjoy it. Maybe even.
All I remember is like a red-haired chick on a motorcycle.
Mm-hmm. That's all you got to remember of it.
Oh, okay. Cool. I got it.
All right. Yeah.
Story's down.
You're good.
Don't even have to play it now.
No, it's just red-haired chick. That's
Anybody want to buy my copy?
Yeah. But anyway, so we'll get into the news. We have some interesting things to talk about, but not a ton. Battle for Azeroth came out, was it last week, I think, for World of
August
Warcraft?
14th.
14th, that's right. See, my time is all thrown off where I've been out working the past 2 weeks. I don't even know what day it is. It feels like November to me now. But anyway, it ended up that Battle of Azeroth is the world's fastest Warcraft selling expansion ever. They sold 3.4 million copies in one day of that game. Which is pretty good.
It's probably because the marketing on this one is pretty good for bringing people back who played it before and hadn't played it for a long time. Like, oh, I want to jump in. That seemed to be kind of the theme going around this one.
I have seen a lot of people on Twitter who have not played it in a very long time playing it again. You know, a lot of times you see when expansions come out, you see people, that haven't played it for a while playing it. But this time, I've seen a lot more than the last time, which is pretty cool. It makes me want to play it again, but I really don't have time to play it again. There's so many other things to play. If it was summertime and the wife was off work and it came out, then we'd both probably pick it back up and play it for the summer at least. But I don't know if I would... I don't know if I'd run out and buy it right now to play it, but I'm interested in it at any rate. But that's pretty cool, though. It's such an old, such an old game, but still sell almost 4 million copies in one day is still pretty good for such a game that's been long in the tooth.
Yeah. Now I wonder if all that counts all the pre-orders as well. and they're like 3.4 million
Usually
copies
does.
unlocked.
Yeah, I would think so. I would think it
Usually, when they count that type of stuff, it does include
would.
pre-orders.
Yeah, I'm sure it does, and I don't know if it includes collector's editions or anything like that, but those probably sold out a long time ago anyway, so I'm sure they probably counted all pre-orders in that. Ubisoft announced that they will not release a new Assassin's Creed game in 2019, which is good news, which means I do not have to buy the new Assassin's Creed game in November if I don't want to.
Well, they've also said the new one, they're going to be supporting it with a bunch of DLC for the whole next year anyway, so it's not like a new game isn't coming.
Didn't they do that with Origins too? Like
a bit, but it sounds like they're going to do more of it.
Mm.
They did do some expansion stuff, and they had like the live or whatever you'd call it, like the
live events or something like that.
Event things that would go in like, here's a cool boss fight. You have to be like super leveled before you can do it. And I don't remember if they're still doing that or if they stopped.
I think they are.
I don't know.
I think I remember seeing it.
I don't remember. I haven't been on it to play for a while, so I don't know. I still haven't finished.
But yeah, with how big Origins is and how big I assume this one is, like, so what? You'll have plenty of Assassin's Creed to play for the next couple of years.
And I'm glad. I want to play the new Assassin's Creed, but like I said, I haven't finished Origins yet. And then you got Red Dead coming out the end of October, and then it's like I'm not going to have time. I'm not going to have time to play Assassin's Creed now. So why spend $60 on it now when I can wait till maybe March
this time next year?
Yeah, or even this time next year. Yeah, next summer
yeah,
or
but
whatever.
this time next year there'll be a bunch of other stuff to play.
Probably.
Right? So...
I mean, there may be.
There'll be a summer lull.
You got to pick your slot where you can fit it in.
Yeah. So we'll see how releases go next year and go from there. But I'm glad. I like the every 2 years Assassin's Creed thing instead of every year. I do like that better. If we can keep it every 2 years. Shenmue 3 got a release date at Gamescom. It is going to be August 27th of 2019, which sounds...
I'm good with that.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I mean, even if they had said it was November, I'm still fine with that. The more polished they do on it, the better for me. I know a lot of people are like, oh, well, I backed this game 3 years ago. I'm ready for it to come out now. Really? I mean, you didn't think it was going to happen overnight?
Games take a long time to make,
exactly.
people, especially if they're big.
This gives me time to play through 1 and 2.
Yeah, I've got time to play through 1 and 2 again, and there's so many other things coming out that it's fine. And August.
I would much rather they take their time on it.
I would too, and the end of August is a good time. It's still early enough to play. It's not too close to the fall lull rush of games, depending on what comes out in September of next year. But so really, this September is not too full of new games other than Spider-Man and
Spider-Man, Tomb Raider, a couple other ones. It's still pretty full.
Spider-Man's the only one I'm interested in. Spider-Man and Valkyria Chronicles.
Both of those, yeah.
I'm
finally.
I played the demo of that, so I did play something other than Minecraft. Well, I played half the demo and put it down because I'm like, nope.
Yeah.
This like the gameplay is fine and the art style I really like, but the characters I hated. I hated the voices. I hated the story that they were trying to tell. I'm like, nope, you're not pulling me in.
Yeah. I like those two games, and I think that's all that is for me for September. I like Tomb Raider. I'm interested in Tomb Raider, but nope, I'm not a Smash Brothers person. So.
Smash is December, so that's still a ways away.
I don't play.
I don't know why I kept thinking it was September.
I don't play Smash anyway, so
You won't play with me, Nathaniel?
No, I won't. I don't play.
Get it for the music player, yo.
I don't play Smash Brothers. I got a music player. It's my cell phone.
Nintendo wants you to take your Switch with you.
Well, I know they do, and I do. I take it with me to play games, so I don't take it with me to listen to music. I mean, it's an awesome feature, and it's cool, and I'm glad it's a thing, but I'm not much of a Smash player. So,
man, I haven't played Smash in a long time, so I'm excited about it. It's gonna be fun.
I've played at least a little bit of every Smash that's come out, and I still prefer the N64 version. That's just the one I like.
GameCube.
That's just
the N64 one was fun, but if you play the other ones and go back to it, it's just like, this is so slow.
Well, yeah.
How do we ever play this?
That's the one we played the most, was the 64
I do like the 64 version for overpowered Kirby.
Yeah.
Because I like playing as Kirby, but ever since that game, he's like blatantly overpowered with some of the like weird crap he could do in that game that would just instantly kill people.
Yeah, but
Way
yeah,
to lose friends. There are many options with Kirby to
yeah,
lose friends.
absolutely. But yeah, I've never been a huge Smash fan, so I don't have people over to the house to play, and I'm not that good at it, and so it's like, but it's fine. I appreciate it for what it is. One game I am interested in when it comes out is Diablo 3 has been officially announced for the Nintendo Switch. It's the Eternal Collection, so it includes the original version, Reaper of Souls expansion, and the Rise of the Necromancer, and all the content updates, including all the theme seasons and everything like that. So
the more I think about it,
That's
the
gonna be
more
a
I think
really
it'd be fun to
beefy
play on
download.
Switch.
yeah, what's that?
Yeah, that's gonna be a really beefy download.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be a huge download.
I mean, they'll have some stuff on a cart, but you're not gonna fit all of it on there.
No,
It's gonna be tough to play 4-player on that small screen.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know. I played Titan Quest, and it's kind of that same angle, and I thought it was fine. And you can play 4-player multiplayer on that. 4-player multiplayer. Yeah, 4-player on that. And I mean, it's fine. But I don't know if it's... I mean, it's cool to take it on the road, but that game is more one to plug in and play 4 people on a TV screen. But I'm still going to buy it on the Switch because the portability factor of it would be really cool. Not necessarily to play with 4 people, but to play by myself. And I haven't played Diablo 3 since it first came out on the PC.
Oh, dude, then it's like
I thought I played with you
now.
on PS4 one time.
You did. I
not?
had it on
Okay.
PS4 for a little while, but then there was nobody to play with. Everybody moved on, so I stopped playing it on PlayStation 4. But even then, it wasn't much more updated than what the PC version was at that time. None of the expansions had come out or anything like that. So, and I haven't had it installed on the PC in a while since I had to.
I would totally be interested in playing that with you guys, but I don't know if I can justify full price again for it.
Well,
I mean, you
it's
justify
everything.
it in that is a lot of content.
Yeah, I mean, it's everything. It's all the expansions. $60 to me is almost a deal, considering if I'd have bought just the vanilla game back in the day and then buy the 2 expansions, I'd be spending way more than $60.
It's true.
But be able to play it on the road. Plus, you got these cool Ganondorf.
It looks really
skin
good
and stuff, which looks really cool. I like the Zelda one that they had that apparently was in testing. I don't know if you saw pictures of it. It wasn't going to be in the final game, but it was actually a Zelda themed one. But it wasn't like a little Link. It was like a full size man
Nice.
with a great big beard. Yeah, it was,
Grandfather Link.
yeah, it did. It looked like old man Link. It was like, oh, that's
Okay.
kind of cool.
We
I'd be
need
cool
that
with
to
that.
be in a game so that we can have that in Smash Brothers, so that we can have young Link and Toon Link and Link
Yeah.
and Old Man Link. Just have all the links.
Yeah, you got to look it up. I forgot where I saw it. I saw it online. I may have retweeted it or something. It's online. I saw a picture of it. I thought it looked really cool. I was like, man, I wish they'd have kept that. That would have been awesome. Twitch Prime users are going to be losing universal ad-free viewing, and the 20% Amazon Prime discount on pre-orders is going away, and they're replacing it with something
You get like a
weird.
$10 gift card.
like a
on
$10 credit.
select games, it says. So it's not on every game you pre-order,
Yep.
I'm guessing. It's on select games. So does that mean, is it only going to be on the big titles? Is it going to be on titles that are priced $50 or more? Is it going to be a price thing? Is it going to be a title-by-title basis? What's it going to be?
They're just gonna roll the dice every time.
Yeah, well, I mean, they've kind of done that. I knew something was up because the past, I don't know, month and a half, some of the games have not been popping up with the Prime discount. Like I bought Dead Cells from Amazon. It did not have the discount for Prime on it, and it never had the discount for Prime on it. And that thing was up. I watched it for a good 2 months before I pre-ordered it, and the Prime price never popped on it.
It's select games now, so
Yeah. It seems to be very select, and
It's even select games you can even pre-order right now too.
yeah. So, it does suck though that the Twitch ad-free thing is no longer a part of Twitch Prime. That kind of stinks. I kind of got used to not watching ads when I.
They want you to get that Twitch Turbo.
Yep, they really do, and I'm not buying it. I'm not interested. I'll watch a stupid ad if I have to. I guess it's fine.
I just don't watch Twitch enough that it would really matter to
No,
me. So
I don't either.
not gonna buy it.
I watch a few
Although it's
friends
nice
on
to
there.
have it, no ads with Prime, but that's going away and it makes me sad.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm not really.
And Amazon is full of a bunch of baloney because their statement of saying how ads are to help the creators. I'm like, no, that's not where they get their money from.
No,
That is where they get zero money from.
if they
might
were
get like a couple pennies. Like even if they're a big streamer, they're not getting their money from the ads. They're getting it from everything else.
Yeah, if they were getting money from ads, then Twitch affiliates would be getting ad revenue plus the subscription stuff, which
like,
Amazon's still taking half of that. So
I think you get less ad money on Twitch than you do on YouTube, and YouTube you don't get very much ad money either. It's just that's not where you get your money from.
I don't know. It's very weird. The discount thing on pre-ordering games does not surprise me. Once Best Buy dropped it, I kind of figured that Amazon would drop it too, because they kind of figured they'd probably lose a lot of money because a lot of those people from Best Buy will probably hop over and go, well, I can go 20% off Amazon. So that ends the
like
20.
When other programs dropped, Amazon wasn't going to keep theirs.
Yeah, when the program ends August 28th. So go through, and any game that you're even seriously considering buying next year, go ahead and pre-order it. I've already pre-ordered Cyberpunk because it's on the 20% off. I've already pre-ordered Metroid 4 because it's on the 20%. And Amazon...
My problem would be figuring out which ones are games I'm going to get on console and which one I get on PC.
Yeah. Well, the beauty is you can cancel them anytime. They don't charge you.
Yeah.
And... they can't change the price once you pre-order it. So if the price ever goes down, you get the added.
Technically, they can because I've done stuff like that before, but usually it's when there's an error. It's not for something like this.
Right, not for something like this. So,
but technically, Amazon can do whatever they want.
They can, but they have said that they are going to honor those prices. So I went through today while I was doing laundry and went, I want this. I might buy this. I might buy this. I might buy this. I might buy this. Order because it's on discount. So get it while I can and save a little bit of money. The last story that I've put in here in the main part of the news is there is a rumor going around that Microsoft's subscription service would bundle an Xbox One, Xbox Live Gold, and Xbox Game Pass. I saw this the other day on Twitter. It's called Xbox All Access. You could get a Xbox One X for a contract year of 2 years, kind of like what you do when you buy a cell phone. You're locked into a contract for 2 years. It's $34 a month, or $34.99. You might as well say $35 a month. That will get you an Xbox One X, a 2-year commitment with Gold and Game Pass bundled in together. So technically, if my calculations are correct, I actually added up the cost of the console, 2 years of Gold, and 2 years of Game Pass, and it looked like it come out to about $20 cheaper. But that's not counting in tax or anything like that you have to pay on the system.
Yeah, and that seems kind of negligible anyway.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
like
it's
part of a subscription that you would have paid, like skipped a month or two of Game Pass or something, and you save it.
Yeah, well, and usually what I do is, to me, this is pretty cool, and if Xbox would do this at the launch of their next console, I would probably do it.
I would probably do it too.
A lot of the consoles that I get, I don't usually have $500 laying around when the new console launches. So it's either scrape together half of it and put the other half on a credit card and pay for it over whatever. A lot of times, depending on where you get it at, like GameStop will have a 0 interest on a purchase of $250 or more for 6 months or something like that. So then you try to pay it off before the end of the interest before it hits. Normally when I buy a console, I keep a console anyway. So it's like at the end of the 2-year agreement, it's mine to keep. I think it's a cool way that some people, I know a lot of people who don't have tons of disposable income, a lot of people I know, or especially around here, they go to errands and buy these things and pay for it by the week. And you spread out how much you're paying for that thing at a place like Aaron's or something like that, you're paying like 3 times what the console costs.
Like a Rent-A-Center type thing?
Yeah, like a Rent-A-Center type thing. Something like this is, I think is pretty awesome, and it does give you, like I said, it does give you gold, and it does give you Game Pass. So technically, if you didn't want to buy any games, you wouldn't have to. You have a library of huge games to download and play right off the bat. Every new Microsoft first-party game that comes out will be on Games with Gold, or Game Pass, so you don't have to buy the latest Forza Horizon game or the latest Halo game or something like that, because it'll be there. And at $35 a month, I think it's pretty affordable. I have to look it up. There was I want to say the Xbox, you could get an Xbox One S version, and I think it's like $25 a month or something like that. I can't remember. I'd have to look it up. This article doesn't say. Oh, here we go. Yep, $22 a month for 2 years. Still, it's not bad for somebody that maybe just wants to play Xbox One exclusives, doesn't want to really buy the games, and was going to get, would like to get a console and Game Pass anyway. And then the gold is just, icing on the cake. But, I don't know. I think it would sell, like I said, if they do it, Microsoft's always ones to take, I don't want to say chances, but they always test market all this stuff. They did it with Halo 2 by pricing it $60 because they wanted to see if people would pay $60 for a game. So they did the collector's edition for $60, and they did it.
Didn't they have a Xbox 360 deal at some point that you could lease it or something?
There was something, I don't remember the logistics of it, but it was very, very, very late.
And you had to do it from their website, I think.
Yeah,
and
there was something like
models came out, maybe.
It was near the end, almost like a year before the Xbox One X came out, if I remember right.
Yeah, I think it was right when the E model that looks like an Xbox One X.
And it looks like maybe they're doing it again because that whatever the new Xbox is will be a couple of years.
2 years, I'd say. Yep.
So. We're getting towards the end of the Xbox One's, main life anyway. Yeah. Still plenty of people who would pick it up. Like the people who would be going out to get a console when the new ones come out, they buy the old one, might do this instead.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, and I haven't. Go ahead, man. I'm sorry.
I was saying, it makes me wonder if they're trying to prime the pump for maybe like a hardware as a service type thing.
Yeah.
So instead of just saying, like, we'll take a hit on our hardware, maybe they'll try to, like, make it more accessible like this, but in reality, they're charging you more money for the console so that they can...
Well, I mean, think about it. What if they just start, like, this has been a rumor for a long time of why doesn't the game consoles act like cell phones, where you have a thing, you're paying it, and then you have something to upgrade at a certain time,
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe they're trying to test something like that out.
I mean, I could see that. I mean, they take a loss on consoles anyway, even if they sell them for $500 the day one. They still take a little bit of a loss on them, well, depending on how powerful they are. But most of the times, day one new consoles, they take a loss. So, but I mean, like I said, according to my math with this, it looks like they're just. It looks like you're not paying any more or any less than you would if you're going to, if you would buy all these individually and drop the money day one,
Now
But
the question is, do we trust John's math?
Well, I'm going off of GameStop prices on things, so
Are you guesstimating the holiday price drops?
Well, see, I'm just going off of prices today. That's what whatever prices are today. That's what I'm going with. No deals, no nothing. Just whatever it is today is what I went off of. Because I was curious. I would like to have an Xbox One X because even with the 1080p TV, you still get some upgraded textures and graphics and stuff. You don't get that full boom 4K prettiness, but you do get a better running game. And for $35 a month, I'm already paying $10 a month anyway for games with gold. Sure, go ahead. I'll pay an extra $25 a month and get a system.
Yeah, and it would let you hit that like 60 frames per second true HD rather than what is it like 900p 30 frames per second.
Yeah, whatever the S does. It varies from game to game, but
Yeah.
But I mean, still, to me, that's just a way to get a better running system. And I've already got gold, and I pay for it once a year anyway, and I pay monthly for games with gold anyhow. So it's like, what's another $25 a month to get a system that's better running?
Yeah,
but that's just
a cool
me.
option. It's just not for me personally because I could get it and be like, yeah, this is affordable. I'll never play it.
Yeah,
because there's nothing on the Xbox that I want to play that I can't play elsewhere.
Well, it's true, and I like to play the Forza games, and it's like, well, it's not just.
Well, if I want to play those, I can get them on PC too.
Yeah,
so.
That's true. I mean, you can get them on PC now, so. But it's like, which reminds me, I need to download Forza for the PC and see how well it runs on there. Because with games, with the Games Pass, I get all the games on PC too. So it's like, well, I can try them out on PC and see how they run. But I don't know. It's like there's been lots of times where Nikki's like, oh, I'd like to play this game with you. Well, you have to have 2 consoles and 2 copies of the game. Yeah, but now it's like, well, you know what? I could get an Xbox One X, keep the S. If we want to play 2-player games, fine. If you don't, if I want to sell the S and keep the X, and whatever it is. But I would like if they would do this. Like I said, if they would do this, if this does well, and they do it day one when the new console launches, it'll get more consoles into houses quicker. And I think that's what Microsoft wants. Once they sink your teeth into having a console in your house, software will come. People will go, there's games that's not on Game Pass that people want to play. There's Destiny.
And it locks those people into paying the full price.
It does.
Over the period of 2 years rather than waiting for a price drop.
Right, yeah. If you're ones that waits for a price drop. But, but it's just like any other electronics. People are like, well, I'm going to hold off and not buy a TV, 4K TV, till the prices drop. Well, the prices are always going to drop. And you can go out tomorrow and buy a 4K TV on sale for $800, and I guarantee you in 3 months it'll be $400 because that's the way the market works. And the same thing with consoles. You could go buy a console tomorrow, and Christmas they'll have it on sale for $50 or $100 less than what it is now. And then that's the way electronics work. But I think people have kind of got to the point where they understand that with electronics. Electronics are like, I hate to say like cars, but I mean, they're just they're like that. I mean, they don't really hold their value unless you have some old console like a NES top loader that's 20 years old, and you still paid $100 for it back then. You're just paying $100 now for it of 2018 money instead of 1989 money. I mean, inflation, but it's still $100 out of my pocket either way it goes.
Right.
But I don't know. I think it's a really cool idea, and I would really like to see Sony go to something like this too, day one, because then it'd be like, well, shoot, I could pay $50 a month or $60 a month and have both consoles with a library of games, and or pick and choose what I want.
Just because of the way I like to do stuff personally, I would not do that. I would wait and buy the console so I don't have to have that subscription thing.
Yeah, well, see, but
that's just how I personally like to do most.
Yeah, well, but I have the subscription thing on both of them anyway. So
I don't.
Yeah, but I pay for Plus, I pay for Gold. I do both. Now I pay for Plus Gold and games with our Xbox Game Pass. I pay for that.
Soon to be the Switch.
Yeah. And I'm going to pay the online for the Switch, the $20 a year on the Switch. Well, actually, we're all going to go together and pay for it. I can have up to 7 people on a family account for $35 a month. So me, Eric, and I've got some slots open if anybody wants to go in. That's what we've done. It's me, Nikki, and Eric. So it's like choose
me.
Yeah. That's what I've told anybody. It's like any of my close friends, hey, if you want to get it cheaper, because I mean, right now we're splitting it 3 ways. $35 3 ways isn't too bad. We could split it 4 ways, and it'll be even cheaper.
We need to see if Michelle wants to get on it. I'll let you know.
Yeah, see, there we go. That's 5. Only need 2 more, man, and we'll only be paying like $5. Yeah. Hey, you know what? If Nintendo's going to do the family thing, more power to them. I'm fine with that.
Gamers Lounge family.
Yeah, why not? In the anything else news, I see that Devil May Cry 5 got a release date.
It did. I'm super excited. March 8th
8th
is the date. I can't wait. They've had a ton of gameplay trailers and stuff from Gamescom where they have a playable demo and just hours and hours and hours, and it looks so phenomenal.
There's a lot of cool stuff out of Gamescom.
You know, I really
smaller things mostly, but yeah.
I really didn't. I was out of town. I was in Akron and Youngstown last week, so I really didn't have time to pay attention to
Should have sent me.
Gamescom.
I've been paying attention to all the hype for the new RTX cards, ray tracing, woo, and it's talking about. So it's like, well, let's put a grain of salt on that. But yeah, those trailers do look kind of pretty as a tech demo.
Yeah.
Have you seen the meme?
Let's see it
coming
in real
from that?
world.
Have you seen the RTX beams? RTX on, RTX off? Oh, they're beautiful memes coming out of it. You
I
just
bet.
keep an eye out for them. But it's like the top is like this, it's just like some plain thing, and then the bottom is like this. It's supposed to be next level, like, wow, that's completely different. Looks so real. But like some people have flipped it over to where it looks so real it looks dumb again. It's great.
I love that stuff. Man, it looks so real it looks fake.
Yeah.
What was it we were watching? It's like we were watching something the other day on TV. It was an old show. Oh, no, we watched Nikki had never seen any of the Mission Impossible movies. So
None of them?
none of them. She's never seen any of them.
I've seen
You like
all of it.
accidentally
Time.
stumble upon the second one on TV.
We don't deviate too much from certain channels on TV. So, I have seen them all up to. I think I've seen the first 3 or 4.
I've seen every single one, and it's a series that gets better with every movie,
And that's what
except for the second one. But yeah.
Yeah.
So I fired it up the other day, and we watched the first one the other night. Man, I tell you what, that is a movie that has not benefited from HD. Because there's so much. Oh my gosh, there's so much
It
of
looks
it.
pretty good in HD. I got it on Blu-ray.
It looks pretty good in HD, but boy, you could tell when they're behind a green screen and there's a video running and somebody's shaking the car to make it look like they're riding in the car, and you see this video. It looked horrible.
Yeah, I don't know what version you looked at. That must be somebody messed with it.
No, it was.
I watched that recently on Blu-ray.
I don't know. Your TV
Not look
must.
that bad.
Your TV must be a little fuzzy then, because on
Nope,
my 4K
nice
TV,
clear.
there was parts of it that looked very, very
maybe
bad.
that's-
There's not
Maybe
really.
that's
The
what it
first one
is.
doesn't
Maybe
really
it's
have
4K.
green screen.
What'd you say,
It's
Matt?
not in the green screen era yet.
Maybe it's a 4K, because I remember watching the first Hobbit in IMAX, and it looked like trash. Because they're like, well, we increased the frame rates, and we did all this other crazy stuff, and you look at it and you're like, this is really fake. Like,
There were parts where they were like sitting in a car talking, driving down the road, and you could clearly tell that it was a bad screen of pre-rendered footage of a video like you'd see on a sitcom TV show of the cityscape going by and stuff like that.
Is it?
Yeah,
There's only like one time they're in a car in that movie. I think I'm trying to remember.
I don't know. There was one or two.
Because
and
the
then-
only time is when he's in like the back of the Mac. The arms dealer is one, and I was trying to think if there's any other car stuff. Because like later on, they have a lot more like car chases and things in the Mission Impossible movies, but the first one is a lot more different because
Yeah.
it's more of the
and like
thriller style movie, so
Yeah.
it's not quite
the other
much
one,
like
where
action all the time.
where they were on the train at the end of it on the bullet
Oh
train.
yeah, that helicopter CG looks pretty dated.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it did. It looked really dated. Like they would zoom up on it, and you could tell immediately where they were outside and actually doing like something, and then where they were inside. You could actually tell the difference in it. And then,
There's a couple shots of that even not too long after it came out, you're like, that looks like a toy helicopter, and not in a good way.
yeah, but I mean,
Still a great movie.
no, the movie itself holds up just fine. It's just these
But yeah.
these little things every once in a while that you go, oh, that movie was made in the mid-90s. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was 1996 was a little while ago.
Yeah, it's like, oh my
The
gosh.
new one the new one that just came out this summer is like night and day for just like technology stuff.
I'm sure.
And the thing that I love about Mission Impossible is how many of these can we make before Tom Cruise dies from doing some stupid crazy
Yeah.
He's a
stuff?
That's what I was
vampire,
gonna
man.
say.
Come on.
I'm
No,
pretty
it's
sure
not that. It's-
Scientology has filled him with so many
Look,
weird
uh,
chemicals. They hold him
they
forever.
have on YouTube, like after you've seen the movie, because you guys should see the movie first. But they have B-roll and behind-the-scenes footage from the new one of all the different stuff of them doing the car chases and all of the like skydiving and
Yeah.
crazy stuff that they do in there, and it looks even crazier than it does in the movie because hey, this is real. It doesn't have all the other stuff in it yet.
Right. Yeah.
Like this is really Tom Cruise weaving in and out of traffic at pretty
Yeah, he does
high
most of his
speeds
own
on a
stunts.
motorcycle.
Yeah.
And they have the take in the movie, but seeing the behind-the-scenes footage of the one where he was jumping across the rooftops and broke his foot during the filming, you're just
Yeah.
like, that hurt.
Yeah, but he
You
kept
feel it.
running. That was the
I
thing.
mean, that's why I like these movies so much too. Is it's like the Fast and Furious ones are fun, but they're all like CG crazy goofiness, whereas Mission Impossible they do all of that stuff.
Right. The
Like
last.
they're really skydiving and doing all of this stuff in a halo jump with some guy following at a specific distance with the camera, so everything's all in focus. And all they did later was CG in a thunderstorm because hey, doing that in real life would be stupid.
Yeah, really. Yeah, I want to definitely see that movie. Like I
It
said,
is really cool. I saw it in IMAX and it was insane.
the last one that I saw was I haven't seen from Ghost Protocol up. I have Ghost Protocol, but I
Dude.
never watched it. So
Ghost Protocol is a lot of people's favorites. I like the one after that even better
Rogue
than that
Nation?
one.
Is it
Rogue Nation is really
I
good.
thought
And this
Ghost
new one is
Protocol
just
was
as good
the
too.
last one that came
Nope.
out before this one.
Rogue Nation was a couple summers ago, and it did pretty well.
yeah,
Two
I
or
bought
three. I forget what year that was.
I bought Ghost Protocol one Black Friday for like $5 on Blu-ray, and I always intended to watch it, and I don't even know where it's at. It's in a box somewhere
Yeah.
when we moved, and then.
I mean, they're all really good, worth watching, except maybe two. I enjoy stupid
It was
jumpiness of it
fine.
all, but
Yeah.
it's not
Yeah.
nearly as good as the.
Yeah, and I want to see the new one, but it's like, well, I don't know. Is it a movie that where I haven't seen the past two or three or two that I would be lost?
I don't think you'd be lost because it's pretty much like the Mission Impossible movies have some stuff that tie together,
Yeah.
especially these last few, and you might benefit a little bit more if you had seen them, but it's not like, oh, I don't know what's going on. You'll still get the gist of like, okay, this
Right.
character is doing this in this movie.
Well,
Although this new one does have a lot of references to the old ones, like pretty much every old Mission Impossible movie has some sort of a reference in here because I think they're kind of wanting to cap it off here and then move forward
do
with whatever they
something
do.
different. Yeah, I can see that. So yeah, we'll finish watching them over the course.
Yeah,
So by the
Mission
time it comes
Impossible
out-
movies are ones I just like to throw on sometimes. They're just fun. You can dip in and out of them if you've seen them a bunch of times before, like I have.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I want to see this scene, and then go do something else. And like, oh crap, I got to do this scene, and then just end up sitting down to watch it.
It's like me with the Lord of the Ring movies. I usually throw the Lord of the Ring movies on the day I put up the Christmas tree, and it just plays in the background. I've seen it enough. It's like, oh, I don't need to sit here and watch. I just need background noise. The Marvel
I
movies
can't
are
do
beginning
that.
to do something like that too.
I'm too big of a Lord of the Rings nerd to not sit and watch it. I have to.
I've
If I try
watched
to
them.
do that, I'll end up sitting and watching it. I don't care how long they are.
I've watched so many of them. I've watched them so many times that it's like, I don't. I like.
I mean, I
put me
saw
to
the
sleep
first
now.
one in theaters 12 times, and then since then,
12
however many
times?
times on
Holy
DVD and stuff. Yeah,
crap.
I saw it a boatload of times.
I reckon we
Like
finally.
I said, I am a Lord of the Rings crazy person.
We finally officially know how much a buttload is, and it's 12.
And one of those I saw was the like when Return of the King came out was the special screening where they did the extended versions of the first two leading into the premiere of Return of the King, and I was there for however many hours in a row.
Wow.
It was I would never do it again, but it was awesome at the time.
I haven't even seen I've seen the first Hobbit movie. I haven't even seen the other two yet.
The Hobbit movies, don't care. They're terrible.
Yeah.
I would say if you go in not having known anything about The Hobbit whatsoever, it
Still not good.
might be an okay movie. I feel like there was definitely some.
The second one has
you could
some
tell there's
parts
some
that are worth
direction
it.
issues.
And it's always the parts that are pretty much straight from the book.
Yeah.
Like the meeting with Smaug the dragon is awesome in the second movie. And then there's a couple of stuff in like the first and second ones that are good. The third movie is just complete trash because they didn't even plan half of that thing until they were doing it on the fly, especially the ending. And it was just like, nope, we could tell it's terrible.
So the whole Hobbit book's like what 100, 150 pages, and they stretched that over 3 movies.
Yeah.
And then the last movie is only like, I want to say it's like 10 pages from the book. Like it's Battle of the Five Armies, which is like it's not even the climax. It's not even the climax of the movie.
Yeah.
There's a chapter called that in the book that is just called that because a battle happens to happen, but
it's just
gets knocked out and you don't really even get to see the battle. You get to see some sort of armies coming together and then it's over.
The climax is Smaug, and then you have like after that there's some ramifications from like the Battle of the Five Armies. And so it's more in there just kind of like, here's an interesting footnote. That's why this stuff doesn't really come into play during Lord of the Rings. Great.
The Hobbit movies are the opposite of Lord of the Rings, whereas Lord of the Rings was trying to condense a bunch of material down to 3 movies that you can do that. Whereas the Hobbit is like, let's stretch it all out and try and do 3 movies because the studio wants to make money.
Yeah, because we can.
I would have been okay with like part 1, part 2 kind of deal. But when they're like, it's going to be part 3, I'm like, no, this is going to be terrible. Yeah. So I went into the first one not having low hopes. And I'm like, they've taken my low hopes and pushed them lower. And then I saw the second one, like, on Netflix or something like that. It wasn't even in theaters, I don't believe. Or maybe it was like during one of those cheap half-off days. And then the third one, I just never saw until like 2 years after it came out.
I watched the first one and went,
Yeah.
Pretty much
There's so many things during the making of that movie that just got in the way of being able to do a good story again. Plus, it's just not going to happen. And part of it was, hey, we tried to do this, it failed, so we have to do it in CG now. And then that didn't work.
Yeah.
Like, Lord of the Rings looks so good because it was a nice balance melding of all these different techniques, depending on what worked well for any particular shot or sequence. Whereas The Hobbit was like, we tried to do it, but it looks kind of, do a CG.
Green screen everything. Nothing on location.
There's even like one of the big villains was like going to be something completely different, and then they painted him out, put a CG character in the place for what you see in the movie was going to be something else.
Yeah.
So there's just all sorts of that stuff all throughout those movies. It's kind of fascinating from a behind-the-scenes train wreck sort of thing. Like, oh man, what happened here? But the movies themselves, no.
I heard that movie is one of the things that kind of put a slightly premature ending on, who played Gandalf? Sir Ian McKellen?
Yeah.
Yes, Ian McKellen.
Yeah, I heard that movie took so much of a toll on him acting-wise that it kind of like sped up his getting out of the game. Because if you notice, he hasn't really been anything since then. Yeah. I don't know if that's true, but supposedly there'd be days where he would just be like, because of the size, like he's supposed to be like 7 feet tall or whatever, and the Hobbit's supposed to be 3. Unlike he wouldn't get to act with anybody.
Yeah, he didn't have anyone his same size. They were all like smaller, so they're never right next to him.
Yeah, and so they would always just have him in a green room by himself doing all his scenes all day for weeks, supposedly. And so he's just like, no, this is not why I'm acting.
Yeah. I think he's went back to doing more Broadway and theater stuff again. So
yeah, well, he's
can't
not
green screen that.
Either, so
yeah, really.
Especially giant movies like that, be like, it'll take it anyway.
Yeah,
up in years.
Yeah. All right. Well, anything else?
Welcome to Movie Talk.
Yeah, Movie Talk. Why don't you tell me the movie that you're interested in? But all right. So, anything else before we call it a night? Anything going on this
Don't think
week
so.
that anybody needs to that anybody know of? I don't know. I'm going to try maybe to stream something this week. I don't know how work is going to go. I'm going to be here in town, so I might try to stream something a night or two.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't think there's too much going on. All right, guys. Well, thanks a lot for hanging out in the chat with us and on Twitch. And if you would like to hang out with us live and talk to us while we're recording the show, we try to do it every other Sunday at 9 or 10. Just follow us on Twitter or follow us on Twitch so you get that notification when we go live, and you can come hang out with us. So, all right, guys. Well, thanks a lot for hanging out, and we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.